survival of the pen. With your host, Arthur M. Swain.
Well, hello, everybody. Everybody on top of things. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you good. What's going on, Pablo? How you doing, my brother?
That's a good sign there that we can hear each other, man. I tell you.
Absolutely.
It's good to be here. Everybody's looking good, looking fresh, looking live. Listen, we have an interesting segment today in the new installment of Surviving the Pen. Interesting topic of conversation. But before we get started, I just want to send a big shout out to our brothers and sisters over there at Suit City in Orlando. Just saw the intro here and, the modeling that we did, the suits that we were able to put on there and display for them. We really appreciate what they did for us. And we just want to say to all the audience, man, if you're in the area, check out Suit City, man. Good people over there. Amen.
Amen. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right. So, because time seems to be slipping away from us lately, we want to get right into the subject matters. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships as they relate to the incarcerated man. And we have two questions that we want the panel to address. We're going to break them down because they're kind of related, but they're separate issues. The first one is how to sustain a relationship while you're in prison. That's the first question that we're going to tackle, and then we're going to try to wrap it up with a little bit one that is a little bit more general than that, which is why are some women attracted to prisoners? Why are some women attracted to prisoners? So let's get right into the subject matter then, fellas. We're going to start with my brother Mike Swain. What do you think, Mike? How to sustain a relationship while in prison? What are your thoughts on that?
How everybody doing this evening?
Oh man, all is well.
Great, doing great. God is good.
Yeah, all the time. I like to take the time out before we delve into that, if it's all right. Being I'm from Florida, we going through a big hurricane right now in my state.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And I got a lot of family members still in the state. A lot of my kids are in the state, other than the ones that's under my roof with me. So I want to prayers to the state of Florida, to the people
Absolutely.
that's going through that hurricane. I saw early on the news where it was actually sharks swimming up the streets, right in the hood, right in the hood. So just let's keep these people, in the state of Florida in our prayers. And then to go into the question. Well, this is a pretty good one right here for me. So let me give y'all a little bit of history on old M. Swain's relationships while I served my 28, 27 plus years in prison. 4 states, 38 prisons, since the age of 16. I've not done time without a woman. Sometimes multiple women. And it's funny that this was brought up as a question, because when you really think about it, what is it that keeps a woman beside a man in prison? Well, first of all, I'm gonna say it's a testament to that man. It's a testament to that person. That person left a lasting impression on that person, that woman that decides to stand by them while they're doing time. It's a passage in my book where my mother said, where his mother said to him, said, if a woman will stand beside you while you at your lowest doing time in prison, she'll do anything for you. And me personally, I'm using the I statement. I found that to be true because a lot of the women that was in my life, like, while I was in prison, I had them, they took penitentiary chances for me. The reward was great for the things that I had them doing, but they took penitentiary chances for me. So a lot of it comes from, a lot of times, we sit in prison, we don't have nothing but time to do but to think, to educate ourselves. For those of us that's not, letting the time do us, that we're doing the time, we educate ourselves. I know I've had books on, how to touch a woman, how to just everything, how to do with a woman. I know this can be sometimes a family friendly show, so I ain't gonna say all the type of books that I've read on women, but
Mike did his homework, huh?
yeah, you must do your homework when you're trying to master craft. But
I
you
hear
know,
you.
yeah. So I've read a lot of different books on relationships. I've read the men are from, the whole women are from Venus, men are from Mars. I've read them all. I've read a lot of books on relationship, but it's a missing, for one, right? It's a missing. A lot of men, bro, in the streets, and I'm learning this right now. They're not taking their time. They're not taking their time with women. They're going from one woman to the next. And a woman wants to feel like the person that she's giving her all to is giving her all back. So when it comes to that, a lot of women feel secure with dealing with a man that's in prison because they know where that man's at. They know that man ain't cheating. They know that man, he goes to bed at 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever time the facility gets shut down. They know when he wake up, the first thing he's going to do is call on the phone. Intellectual conversation, somebody to vent to. There's so many things, bro. It's so many different reasons why our relationships with women in prison, why they last. For me, it's been, I know I've always felt the void. I couldn't touch them physically, so my thing was to touch them mentally. And I really didn't have no problems with my women while I was in prison. I had more problems with them when I got outside of prison. Because I put it in my head that, okay, if she gon' do the do, she gon' I always say, I ain't gonna question you about that. That's your life. Live your life. But don't let nobody get in my space. The space you got for me in your heart, keep that for me. Don't if you're gonna do it, respect yourself that way I know you respected me. And I would leave it at that. I didn't question, did you go out? I didn't none of that. That because I couldn't control that. And if even if I could control it, that's not my vibe. That's not what I do. Do you? And I'm gonna make the choice from there, whether I want to deal with you or not. I ain't gonna try to change you. Do you? So um maintaining a relationship in prison, a lot of it falls on the willingness of the parties. A lot of it falls on, you know, I've heard women say to me before, that they're their happiest when they're on the way to see me, driving to see me, and they're at their lowest when they leave me.
Yeah.
And that drive home
Yeah.
is the longest drive of their life because they wish they could take me with them.
Right.
You know, so for me, I think it was something. I think it's something that we give a woman the attention that they crave. Even though they're in the free world, we give them the attention that they crave, and their hearts are inside the prison with us. So no matter who come at them, no matter, you know, when Jody come through, the maintenance man come through, whatever, that's just it. That's all it is. Because their heart is inside of prison walls with us. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, Mike. Well said, man. What about you, Brother Latif? You
Okay.
have thoughts
Okay.
on that?
Yes, absolutely. But before I do, I want to welcome everyone that's outside that's tuned into this to this segment. We thank you. We appreciate you. We hope that you would engage us in this conversation. And secondly, I want to say that I send my prayers, my sincere prayers out to the whole entire state of Florida. May they be safe during this turbulent times. Also, I want to send a shout out to Sioux City. Man, we had an amazing time over there, modeling some of the suits. They made us feel good. And they have a lot of things that I'm most definitely going to go back and get. So shout out to Sioux City. And for those, man, go check them out, man. They got something for you, man. They would accommodate you in every way possible. So shout out to Sioux City. Thirdly, let me say this, how to sustain a relationship while incarcerated. And a lot of that depends on both the man and the woman. For me, I can only speak for me in sustaining a relationship by me not being from California, in which is where I did all of the 34 years, 3 months that I was incarcerated. So for me, not actually really being a native of California, my struggle to meet a woman was extremely rough because, you know, that was something that usually was for those that was native or what I call the locals. But in sustaining relationship, once I started working inside the visiting room, then now I have access to many women that's coming in to visit. And in meeting those, I find that in sustaining a sincere relationship is really to be. It depends on what you want, because some women in prison only. They're not really even looking for one on the street. They want one that's in prison. So I used to always, you know, why you look for them? You know, what is it about in prison that you should be most comfortable with? And echoing what Mike Swain said, that they know, well, you're in prison, you're gonna get up and you're gonna go to bed at a certain time. You know, the first thing on your mind when you do get up is to call her, to, you know, to see how she's doing, to connect with her. And most times, you know, women, they want commitment. They want commitment for the man. And the only way they seem to get some form of commitment is to come to the prison. Right. And they're willing to do all the things, you know, when I say all the things, I don't mean to just dog themselves out, but whatever that it takes to sustain their relationship, because that's what they really want. And some do want you to come home to them if they feel that the relationship can be something that can be really be worthwhile. All relationships that's formed in prison, it's not all bad. You have some relationships and marriages that form in prison still exist today. I'm one of them. Um, and maintaining it, you know, a lot of times, you know, they get from us what they can't get out there. And again, it has to do with commitment. It has to do with them feeling that they have something that they can say that's mine. You know, someone that pays attention, someone that's attentive to their thoughts, their needs, you know, try to be as affectionate as they possibly can to get inside their head. See, for me, my method of being able to maintain the relationship was not only the physical thing. I want to get inside her head. I want to see how she think, those kind of things. I wanted to build her up to make her feel and know that she really was someone and she meant something to someone. And her time spent with me was not in vain. And most women want to know that they really got something worthwhile that they can hold on to. Now, the attraction, yeah, that's another subject matter. I'm gonna let Mike start that one off, and then I'm gonna echo on that. But again, to sustain for me, sustaining a meaningful relationship. Now, if you just want a toy, something to play with, because some, we sustain it only because we want packages and money and all those kind of things too. You got all different kind of people, but a real relationship. I'm saying this is that because you're in prison and you meet someone doesn't mean that the relationship is not solid, right? And it all depends on again what both people want. If she's really sincerely looking for someone that can come home to her, she got a chance to know him on a mental and spiritual level before the physical even take place. Then she have a better gauge as to what she really can get and what the relationship really has to offer. You know, and I'm gonna pass that on to you, Pablo, and we can get back into the attraction of what attracts, because that's another subject matter that's going to tie in. It's going to
Yeah.
coexist with that because there's a lot of dynamics that go on with that. And let me say this: I really, really want whoever is tied into this segment tonight. Don't look at relationships formed in prison with a black eye, because I know those that met in prison and has an amazing marriage, even greater marriage than those that have been on the street for 50 years. I'm gonna pass it to you, Pablo.
Yeah. This is a good question. It's an interesting question, and I appreciate both perspectives. I too
You got a
was.
bad connection. You got a bad connection.
You can't hear me.
I hear you.
I can hear
Okay.
you, but you got to.
Yeah. Uh, well, we'll keep flowing and see where it goes with that. But yeah, I've seen it from both sides. I was involved in a relationship also while incarcerated, and even did the marriage thing. And this is what my thoughts are on the subject. I think that I seen relationships in prison where uh, the husband and wife, they were together before the man landed in prison, and they managed to stick it out, and they stayed together, and they had already a foundation before the man went to prison, and children and all of that. So situation like that, you can pretty much understand why the woman chose to stay with the husband, even though she could have made the decision that she was going to move on. Now, relationships like the one that I can speak about with some degree of knowledge is like, I wasn't really looking for a relationship, but one fell into my hands, and it lasted quite a long time. Now, that's where the word sustain come into. And some of the key elements for me, the things that I can think back that made it work for me was, number one, a lot of patience. A lot of patience, getting rid of the ego, recognizing that you know yeah, you might be the male figure in the relationship, but now this relationship requires you to exercise a lot of patience in the way you go about talking about things, subject matters. There's a lot of listening involved. One of the things that relationships from prison taught me is that there is value to listening to what your partner says to you. And as both of you can attest, when you have time in the visiting room where you have nothing else to do but to talk to each other, you start learning and finding out a whole lot of things about how women think, how they see things, how they view life, what their expectations are, what they're looking for in a relationship, what they want from a man and what they consider a man to be. And so you learn a lot from that. So anybody who has a lot of patience, has the capacity to listen, is not trying to be bossy and controlling. Those are some of the key ingredients, some of the key elements that you can look at if you're talking about relationships that withstood the test of time while you were incarcerated. Because there's a whole lot of things that women have to put up with when they go visit a man who is in prison. They got to subject themselves to the initial intake, the pat downs, sometimes the things that they're wearing to try to impress you and make you feel good about, how they look. They can't wear in the prison because, the prison authorities deem that to be against the rules and regulations. So they got to go to, the outreach people and see if they can get an outfit. Then there's the whole situation of touching. You can't touch. There's a brief hug in the beginning, a brief hug in the end, and in between, there's that vacuum, that void that you have to deal with. And there's always the suspicious guards that are looking around, hanging around, sticking their noses in your business. So there's a lot of challenges, and I think Latif said, working together. That's another thing. If both parties are aware of what the situation is and they're willing to give that 100% in order to make it work, she putting up with the things that she has to put up with when she visits you, and you making sure that you understand that and respect that and appreciate all the sacrifices that she's making, and letting her know that you understand, how difficult things are for her, and being as supportive as you can. Those are things that definitely go a long ways in helping you maintain a solid relationship while you're incarcerated. And having said that, uh, I particularly felt like, um, in my particular relationship, it helped me a great deal uh, to survive. Because that's the other benefit that we that I'm mindful of anyway. I'm just going to say, uh, I'm going to use the I message here because um, I needed that support when I was in prison. I needed it because I went through some hard times, as I've testified to before in previous segments, and I was suffering from depression, battling a lot of lows in my life, and having that relationship there that was supportive, understanding, and encouraging helped me a great deal. So I was able to then repay, and maybe not repay is not a right word, but maybe um, try to be as supportive and understanding of my partner as we went through together with this tough experience. And eventually, in my case, the relationship did not survive, but it lasted long enough for me to be able to get myself back together physically, mentally, spiritually, and to be able to leave prison then with a better understanding, a better view of what it takes to uh, maintain a relationship. And I'm glad to say that today I'm happily married, and all those skills that I learned in prison, all those tools that I acquired, are tools that I'm presently using and putting at my disposal in order to make sure that this present relationship, man, goes the distance. So I don't know if anybody wants to add any more regarding this question based on anything that I said, but please feel free to add, or any other thoughts that may have come to your mind before we move on to the second question in the segment.
The the while you sit in prison, right? You All the things that people take for granted in the free
Mhm.
world are
Absolutely, yeah.
highly missed. And when you would get your mail and your woman would spray it with her cologne, with her perfume, or a kiss on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you know, these things like you miss some of the most smallest things that, just a touch of a hand. Um, watching your woman get dressed in the morning before she go to work. All these things that people, overlook and take for granted. When you in prison, you miss those things. You
Yeah.
you you miss those things a lot. And as you was talking, both of y'all, and I'm thinking about, how your woman used to try to dress to come in, and when she come to see you, to let you know, she knows when she's getting dressed in the morning to come see you. She knows that she's dressing not for no other man, but for her man.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Yeah.
see, and when you see her, when she walked through that door, you walk through the door, she's already seated, and you see her, all you can think about is, look at my baby. Look at my baby. You look so nice when you walk up. When she walks up, you give her a hug and an initial kiss, and you smell her and you tell her, baby, you look good, and all these different things that being in society, you have it every day. You see your woman, you see your spouse every day. So while in prison, for a man, for me, I learned how to appreciate a woman more. I learned how
Yeah.
to I learned how to treat a woman differently each time that I went in prison. I learned how to, you know, to be more attentive to the aspects of a woman. So it's something that we give off being in prison when you're fortunate enough, because everybody's not fortunate enough to have somebody standing beside them while they incarcerated. You go into visiting rooms, a lot of visiting rooms ain't packed with people, you know. So, I was one of the ones that, you know, 52 weeks out of the year, I had to visit 47 of them. And this went on for my last time 12 straight years. Like, and no matter where they sent me in the state, there was times they used to try to break my girl. They used to try to break her by sending me to the furthest point of the state. And she would hike them 8 hours, 9 hours one way. And still get there first thing in the morning. She one of the first people come through the door. And those things I learned to appreciate. I learned to appreciate loyalty from my prison relationships. Where I don't think I ain't gonna say if it wasn't for prison, I wouldn't have really understood it. Because when you look at the ways of the world is, they thinking out here that nobody's faithful. Out here they thinking everybody cheats. They thinking every man's a dog. But being in prison, it teaches you. It teaches you a sustaining humbleness in everything that you have.
Yeah.
You appreciate everything you have. And I just wanted to say that, bro, because I think that's important that the listeners know that it becomes a point in time in a prisoner's life where they realize that, I got this one woman by my side and I'm gonna treat her like she's royalty. And that's something that once a woman have that, and they've been looking for that, and they finally find that, it don't matter about it being through four doors, strip search, ma'am, run your fingers around your brow, let me see down your shirt. That nothing stops that love. And they take our women through a lot because they really want to eliminate that. They want to eliminate the the extra guards that's needed in the visiting room. It's 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 just crazy, but this is a topic, bro. It's bringing back so many memories, and it's making me look at where I'm at now and appreciate what I have, because a lot of what we have in this free world is being overlooked. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me add something in. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me say this again. In sustaining uh, a relationship in prison, things that really aid the woman is, what we fail to realize, some of us, is that when we leave the home and we take all the power out of the home, right, and we leave them vulnerable, not only the woman but the children if you got those too. So now she's left with all of that, and for you to be able to see her and talk to her and work those things out where she don't feel like the whole weight of the world is on her shoulder, because her man, her husband, or whatever she wants to tie to him, is equipped enough to take her through that, so she don't feel alone, although she may lay down in her bed alone at night just like you. But in her mind, in her heart, you right there with her, because all the things that she encounter, though your physical presence is not there, but she knows she can call on you. She knows she can get that mental stimulation. She knows that you can lift her up and dust her off when the weight of the world is on her shoulder. So I just wanted to add that, because I know we press for time, and but I just really want to add that in terms of maintaining the relationship, a lot of them has to do with the woman understanding, both of them understanding that whatever it is, we're going to make this through this on a mental level. And I'm gonna pass this on to you, Pablo, because I know we're running
Yeah.
out of time.
All right. Yeah. So we're gonna tackle the second question for this particular segment, but just wanted to wrap it up. The first part by saying that tremendous respect for women that have relationship with men in prison, because uh, they when I got married, for instance, at the time that I got married, there were no uh, what they call that conjugal visits, and so just imagine what that's like when a woman makes a decision and a commitment to marry you, knowing that she is going to be with you, but not in a physical sense. So all these things have to come into play, and all the rest that is linked to that particular subject matter. But that is a nice little
You,
segue then into what the next question is,
you know something
which is,
that
go
you
ahead, Mike.
now that you said that, there's some laws that says you're not legally married until you consummate your marriage.
Well, like I said, there's a whole lot. There's a
Yeah.
whole lot of things that go with that. I just wanted to point that out because the public and maybe even the listening audience here are under the impression that a lot of men that are incarcerated would marry just any woman because they just want to have the physical satisfaction, so to speak. But when a woman makes a commitment to marry you, knowing that you're incarcerated and there's not going to be any conjugal visits, then that takes it to another level. So I just wanted to
Right.
throw that out there
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick
yeah,
so
yeah.
that the audience
Right.
understands that what we're talking about has many layers. We just can't get into all of them in depth right now because of the business of time. And like I said, so let's segue right into then the next question, which is, why are some women attracted to prisoners? Go ahead and kick it off, Mike.
Um, I know women was attracted to me because I'm him, but
Speak on it. Speak on it, Mike.
Go
Speak
ahead,
on it.
Mike. Go ahead. Go ahead. Speak truth,
but
brother.
but but like I say, it's a lot of the old saying, why good girls like bad guys. That's true in a lot of senses. Um, and then I mean, just look at it, bro. Like it's there's always been an attraction with the opposite. There's always been that. This is such a big thing that they have dating sites for prisoners
Yeah.
where women and men can go on these sites and look for what they desire in a mate, and reach out to you, and you not knowing that this person fell in love with you by looking at you on the computer. So I think the attraction starts off with that. I think the attraction is why good girls like bad guys. Um, I think a lot of women is attracted to the. A lot of women want a thug without all the ramifications of it. A lot of women are attracted to the gangster swag, or that whole persona of a man. Um, because in a lot of senses, in a lot of people's minds, they think that a gangster or a thug or whatever you want to call us, um, there's automatically a place of safe haven with us. Um, and so I I think it's a lot, like how you said, Pablo. There's a lot of different layers to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop with this one, but it's women, man. Women are very.
Mike, let me ask you this, man. I don't mean to interrupt you, but maybe you can shed some light on this. What do you think about the theory that some people say that the women that are attracted to prisoners are damaged women, that they have issues, either psychologically, emotionally, or spiritual issues, and that's why they go looking for a man who's incarcerated because they feel safe and they can take control of the relationship, and they know that they can't be hurt because you're in the pen. What do you think about that? Let's tackle that.
you
Is
know
that
me
is
me
that part of the attraction?
me personally, Pablo, I've never heard that personally. But I
I
mean,
heard that.
it is something that can be addressed. So let me try to address it in the way that I feel as though, you know, damaged goods. Whoa. Um, if that's the case, there's a lot of damaged good women and men that they're not looking for to be fixed through somebody that's locked up. So I don't, I don't, I don't think that that's it. I think that that's the system trying to tell somebody that no woman want a nerd, just a little
Oh
thuggish.
yeah.
Hey, so I
Okay.
think,
Okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
So
yeah,
this
that's what I just said.
Sabrina
Yeah.
says that no woman wants a nerd, just a little thuggish in a man. And then a previous person chimed in that it may be a sign of desperation when they go looking for a man who's in prison. So you see that
How is
there's
it?
various
But
the varying opinions here.
how is it a sign? How is it a sign of desperation? First of all, let me say this: I've never dated an unattractive woman.
Man, my connection is bad.
I've never dated an unattractive woman. Every woman that I've dated, were attractive women. So to say that there was a sign of desperation, I'm talking about women who are men lined up for.
Right.
So that's not it. Um, so maybe that's not for that person who made that statement. Maybe they're not attracted to, men that are in prison. But what about when that man gets out of prison and he puts on what's attractive to you?
Yeah.
And then you find out that he was in prison, but by that time it's too late because you head over heels done been swooped up off your feet. Then what? But anyway, um, I can't echo that about being damaged goods. I can't echo that because maybe she has a nurturing spirit, and maybe that's where she feels like she can get what she needs.
And there's that side of it. I'm gonna let Latif chime in there too, but that there's that side of
Okay.
it too. There's some that
Okay.
think that. Go ahead, Latif. Go ahead and say what you're
Yeah. Let
saying.
me let,
And
let me jump on this damaged good issue because see, some women, uh, I've heard that said before,
yeah,
because in the visitor room, that the only reason why, she wants to come see somebody in prison is because she's desperate or
yeah,
she can't get no one on the street. Well, I mean, that's that person. That's in that person's head that she has to be desperate or her self-esteem is low because where she's going to
Yeah.
see her significant other, maybe her husband, her dude, her boyfriend, or whatever title is going to be on them. But the same one that speaks so lowly to the woman that comes to see a man in prison, her man, her king in prison, she has to be deemed with low self-esteem or to be desperate when a lot of women out there in society getting beat up, beat down, mistreated, cheated on, and all these things, right? But yet still, nothing is spoken on the self-esteem, the acceptance, and all the things that you go through with a man because he's in free society opposed to having someone that's incarcerated. And not only because he's incarcerated, but this is just the kind of man he in. You can find great things in the strangest places. I'm sure everyone have heard that, right? And then when she do get this man who she's come to see, she's getting everything that she want and need and desire from him other than the physical,
But
right?
but but sometimes with some people, bro, the physical is not stronger what they need mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, you can make love to a woman without touching her body.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of women are aroused by mental stimulation, where some women just want, hit it, quit it, see you later tomorrow, I'm good, you know what I mean? And they move off of that. But a lot of women are, first of all, a woman matures faster than a man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that when you run it, when you take that into accord, you know, we're I think they say like we're like what 3 to 6 years behind a woman mentally
Yeah.
maturing.
Right.
So when you take that into accord, and what's between her legs doesn't move her in the ways that it moves some people. Like with men, some of us don't think with our little head, we think with our big head.
Yeah.
And when we
Yeah.
start to think with our big head, then we realize that, this is how you connect with people. You connect with people through the mind. You connect with people through the mind. So it's this should be a 2-hour show,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Well,
this is a deep, this can get real deep.
let me say
Let me
this.
I want to answer this question. Go ahead on, Pablo, but I want to answer this question
Yeah.
because this fits me.
Okay. So there's a listener that is asking about what about men
Yeah.
who have
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
sentences. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to
I want
say
to.
this.
Yeah.
This is the thing that this is the reason why some people say make these comments and it's been reported in the media, and I have seen shows in which this is the kind of commentary that you hear when they're interviewing women who have husbands or boyfriends who are incarcerated. But they're extremes, right? We probably fall right in the middle of the road because we were men that spend a lot of time in prison, and we had the opportunity to come home. But then there are women who fall in love with prisoners who have life sentences that they know that person is never coming home. Some of them are on death row. And we're not going to mention any names because we're not here to cast aspersion on anybody or to bring up people that are in the media or have already a reputation. But it begs the question, if the woman knows that the man is never coming home, there's no chance that he's going to ever rejoin them in society and be part of the family structure as we know family to be in free society, then what motivates them to seek this person out and to stay with them? And so there's been various theories that have been tossed out there, like they're trying to change the man, or they think that maybe he's not as bad as he's been reported to be, etc., etc. But it is a question that I wrestled with because I wasn't the one that proposed to my wife. We were visiting and I thought everything was going well just the way it was. But then she brought the question to my attention, and she said, look, The only way that I can speak for you and represent you with the authorities is if I'm your wife. If I'm just a girlfriend, when something happens, you're on lockdown, or there's a situation with a medical issue or a legal issue, I don't have any voice because I'm not your wife. So, you ought to consider the marriage thing, so that, when something happens that requires intervention, then I can step in with authority. So, then that then precipitated the marriage. But, uh, you know, it begs the question, and it's something that we can discuss a little bit. We don't have much time, but how do you see that, Latif? How do you see that, Mike?
As
The life
far as
sentence thing.
the life sentence, I too, had a life sentence, and I paroled, after doing a life sentence and being in a long-term relationship, which turned into marriage. I married my wife, and I'm still currently married to her now. Um, and she asked me to marry her
Yeah.
because
So we have that in common.
she didn't, in other words, like, no, I want to take you all the way completely off the market. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now, in saying that, I wanted to make sure she understood that I knew that I was going to come home one day. Exactly when, I didn't know. And my thing was this, that I didn't want to put the kind of pressure on any woman to take the time out to come see me, visit me, spend time with me, invest in me, to feel that she was stuck or feel that there was no future in having anything to do with me because I was never getting out. And in California at the time, played many, many, many games with our freedom in terms of when we was going to actually get out and come home. Didn't have forever, but that's how they treated us,
No
right?
doubt. No
So
doubt.
so for the woman to come into my life like this, I wanted to make sure she knew exactly what she was getting herself into, and not because the way that my body looked, the way that I spoke to her, the way that I treated her, all those things meant a lot. But at the same time, you want this being free. Some women, now this we're going into another topic, will settle. They will settle to have all that I just mentioned, rather to be miserable
Is that
out there.
settling? Is that settling, or is that what they want?
That's what they want. When I'm
So
saying
how
settling,
so how would
okay,
you say that?
let me clarify. Let me clarify one more time. When I say settling, meaning settling to not ever have you free with
Right.
her. Her settling is that I would rather come see you incarcerated up under those circumstances and still be free to a certain extent than to be out here in the free world and be dogged out.
I want to give an example of somebody that everybody probably knows. The singer Monica.
Okay, see murder.
She married C Murder. C Murder has a life sentence.
Yes.
Is Monica damaged goods?
Absolutely not. Monica's a
Does that?
queen.
Monica's a queen. So when somebody say they damaged goods, they women or who are no, it's like I said earlier, her heart
Yeah, it's
was
free.
in there with him when he first went into prison.
Hmm.
She tried to make life without him, but her love, she loved that man like she never loved no other man. So he told her, go ahead and live your life. She tried to live her life, but her heart was always there.
Yeah.
So whoever said that, that was, and people that say that, a lot of people that say that, they go home to a man that's, walking around like Al Bundy, or they go home to, a woman that's shaped like a mushroom. So they use every tactic that they can to break the strength, to break your strength down, because we're people. So just because we're in prison, that don't mean we don't deserve love.
Yeah.
That don't that That don't mean we don't deserve happiness. So for somebody to love me because I'm incarcerated, that means she's broken. That means she's damaged goods. That's I think that's silly. But
Well,
and then somebody
there was a comment in the comment section here also that that asked the question about, you know, men that use women, the you know that well they're incarcerated, they use women to bring them things and to do things that are maybe in violation of the rules, and that's the only reason why they want to have a relationship with a woman, so that they have that woman that can be their, uh, you know, I guess mule, if you want to call it that. But so in the couple of minutes that we have here, what say both of you about that aspect of it? That men try to seek women in relationships while they're incarcerated so that they can do their bidding for them.
well
You want to
Go to,
speak, Mike? Okay, go ahead.
I start with this. I mean, men use women in the streets too. So
I,
women use men in the streets. But does that happen? Yeah, it happens. Yeah, they
okay.
are men and women who only want to deal with a person if you can't bring me this bag, you don't need to come see me because I got somebody else just trying to bring me
Uh,
a bag,
I,
you know. So I ain't gonna let you, complicate my situation because I got everything I need. So if you ain't down with this, then you know, um, I've seen a lot of situations like that. I have. Now I ain't saying like I've been that way because that's when you come to the gate with me, you know that's what it is with me. Um, when I was doing my time, like it was no getting around that with me, and it wasn't about me using you because if you didn't do it, I had a guard to do it. It was just I had so many ways to get it done, but and to be honest with you, that was always the last resort with me. Um, so it was never going into the situation with me saying, "Oh, I'm finna use her to do this." That was never the situation with me because I was always one of those that I knew how to move pieces around. So, and that was to have my woman do it to actually bring me something that was against the rules that can get her locked up. That was always with me the last resort. And a lot of times I didn't need that. But there definitely men definitely use women to answer the question. Men definitely use women that's men that's incarcerated, definitely use women that's to bring them what they need to do everything they need because when you think about it, we're babies.
yeah,
We're babies. When we're incarcerated, we're babies. People that's incarcerated depend on solely the people that's in the free world to take care of them.
yeah. We
outside of
got
the outside of the three hots and a cot.
Yeah, we
You
got
know,
about 6 minutes left, Mike. So I'm gonna let Latif say a few words regarding the same
Okay,
question,
okay.
and I just wanted to bring that up, not because I'm trying to throw any mud on the subject matter, but we got to be realists. We men, and we know what we seen in prison, and we know what goes on, and we don't. What I don't want is for the audience to think that we sitting here trying to paint, pie in the sky kind of a picture, and think that everything that we
Oh
have the
yeah,
best kind of love because we're in the pen, and
that's right.
that we know
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
there's all kinds of colors and shades. We don't have enough time to go into all of that, but
Right.
thank you,
Yeah,
Mike, for hitting it on
yeah,
the
yeah,
nail,
yeah,
because
yeah,
there
yeah.
is that too. So go ahead, Latif.
Most
We got
Yeah,
definitely.
about
yeah, yeah.
five
I was
minutes
going.
left.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to tell Mike, man, well said. Now for
Yeah,
me, yeah, I did that. I was one of the ones that, yeah, I had them bringing it in. When I was in the game like that, when I was in that life, when I was still a boy. But I never ever had my wife um, bring me nothing in there other than some money to buy me something to eat because we wasn't going to sit in the division room for no 6 hour drinking no ice water, eating no popcorn, because, I wanted to eat something for real. But whenever I did do that, what I did, I paid for that. When I had a girl to come see me to bring me the bag, yeah, she was getting paid. She didn't have not, we didn't have nothing to do with each other at all. You know, it was strictly business. You bring the product, I'm gonna pay you before you give it. I'm gonna pay you, and then you keep it moving. We're gonna hug, and I see you like, ain't no kissing, no hugging, no romance, no none of that, because it's strictly business. Yes, we do. Yes, we did have a lot of women doing that, but most women would seek us out too. When they know you still in the game, they know you still getting money. They know that you still down for your grits and gravy. They know that you willing to take chances. They willing to take chances too. They want to get paid. They paying their bills. I'm paying your bill
Yeah.
outside. You know, I'm employing you. Yeah, you taking chances, but I'm taking chances too. You know, just keeping it real. That's how it is. I know we pressed for time, but
Yeah.
we did do that. I'm one of those that done that.
Well,
I'm not happy about that. I'm not proud about that. But the show is about being honest and upfront and being real and keeping it real. That's what this is all about. And yes, I'm gonna pass it on to
gentlemen,
you, Pablo.
I appreciate your honesty, both of you, because we could sit here and spend the whole hour talking about how beautiful the relationship was, or beautiful relationships we had, and how everything was hunky dory and dandy. But we know that that's not always the case. But I want to say, from this perspective, kudos to you, Lati, because I know you still married to the woman that you met in prison.
Yes,
and
absolutely. Yes.
that's a testament right there that relationships do survive incarceration, and they even thrive on the outside free world. So I wish you the best, my brother. I hope that relationship lasts until the end
Yeah.
of days. And same thing with you, Mike. I know that you've been through a lot and you have a lot of experience. We didn't have enough time for you to bring us all your wisdom, but we appreciate whatever insight you have to offer. We have a couple more minutes. I just want to give both of you a chance to say your farewells for this segment. But I want to say before we leave, again, big shout out to Sioux City, that they treated me so right. They treated us so right while I was down there in Orlando last weekend. So I hope people go out there and check them out. I know the state is going through a little bit of a rough time with this hurricane thing, but eventually things will settle down, and they will certainly appreciate your business. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let first Mike go off, say you got about 30, 40 seconds, sir, and then Latif, and then we'll call it a day for this segment.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, first of all, I like to shout out my guys, Sioux City, Orlando, Florida,
Yeah.
West Colonial. You know what I mean? Them my guys. And I just want to say, man, thank y'all for the way y'all treated me, the way y'all treated my guys. I'll be there to see y'all soon. So if you're looking for something nice, fly debonair for your guy, or if you're a guy, you're looking for something nice to put on for the evening, man, and you're down in the Orlando area, please go visit Sioux City on West Colonial Boulevard. This is M. Swain. I'm the author of Prison Kingpin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a hot book. Get it. If you ain't got it, I don't know what you're waiting on, because you're missing something.
Go ahead, Latif.
All right. One more time for Sioux City, man. I got to send a shout out to y'all, man. Oh, it's a hat. You know I got a small head, man, so you're going to trim that hat down for me a little bit. But shout out to Sioux City one more time for all the people that's in Florida. One more time, my sincere prayer goes out to you and the entire state of Florida, and for my family that's watching. I know y'all. I know I've been gone for a while. My wife and everyone. I'll be home soon. Love you. Peace.
All right, then this is Pablo Agrio signing off. Listen, In Pursuit of Happiness. In Pursuit of Happiness is the book. You can find it on Amazon, lulu.com. You can also go on pabloagrio.com, and you can get the link that is going to take you straight to Amazon, so you can get a copy of your book. Also, Master Media, that's another place where you can get the book, In Pursuit of Happiness. All right, guys, great show. Until we see each other again next week, peace. God bless you.